Morgan, you see this back?
Call the meeting to order.
Oh, let her in.
Call the meeting to order, Council. Welcome back, everyone. We had August was off for a meeting due to non-availability of a quorum. I guess everybody's schedules are hectic and busy during this time of year. We're back to now tonight, and our last meeting was July 16th. Some housekeeping matters. Council extends condolences to the family of the late Val Kareem. Val was a member of the Placentia Volunteer Fire Department for 37 years and a long-standing member of the Royal Canadian Legion for 39 years. Our condolences to Marion, Mary, and the entire Kareem family. Council extends condolences to the family of the late Patrick Gammon of Placentia, father of our MHA, Minister Sherry Gammon-Walsh. Council extends condolences to Marina, Sherry, Sean, and families. Council extends condolences to Public Works Superintendent Adam Green and his family on the passing of his grandmother, Mrs. Margaret McLennan. Mrs. McLennan was a long-time resident of Southeast. Our deepest sympathy go out to the family. Congratulations are extended to Kerry O'Reilly, former resident of Placentia, and receiving one of 4 awards presented by the National Women in Law Awards. The award honors general counsel, in-house leaders, and law firm partners who have demonstrated a commitment to advancing the empowerment of women in law. Congratulations, Ms. O'Reilly. Congratulations are also extended to Army Cadet Raven Ella Ralph, who is a member of 2558 Placentia Royal Canadian Army Cadet Corps and a recent participant of the Army Cadet Voyage in History program. Raven was chosen from 18,000 and more Army cadets from across Canada to take part in this advanced training course and travel to Europe this past summer. Congratulations to Brooke Lennon and Laura Gammon, who are part of the Newfoundland Under-19 Select Ladies Ball Hockey Team, which won the silver medal at the National U19 Ball Hockey Championships held in British Columbia this summer. Laura was also the leading scorer for the team, while Brooke was named top defenseman and tournament all-star. Brooke was also named to the National Under-20 Female Ball Hockey Team, which will compete in the World Championship in Slovakia next July. Congratulations, girls. Congratulations to Brady Judge, who was part of the Newfoundland Under-15 Male Select Ball Hockey Team, which won a silver medal in British Columbia this summer. Congratulations to Michael Gammon, silver medalist as part of the Team Newfoundland at the Masters National Ball Hockey Championship. And congratulations to Mr. William Hogan, former mayor of the town of Placentia, Minister of the Province, on receiving the Senate 150 Medal for contribution to community, province, and his country. This was presented by Senators Manning and Senators Fiore. Congratulations, Mr. Hogan. Finally, congratulations to John Roach on achieving 3 medals at the Commonwealth weightlifting competition just recently. Now ask for a motion to adopt the agenda dated September 16, 2019. Moved by Councillor Smith, second, Councillor Collins Power. All in favor? Motion carried. For the adoption of the minutes dated July 16, 2019, I ask if there's any errors or omissions. One error has been noticed. Motion number 19187 should read Terry Lynn Gregory, not Jackson. It reads Terry Lynn Gregory, it should read, it reads Terry Lynn Gregory, not Jackson. So with that correction, any other errors or omissions? As for motion to adopt the minutes dated July 16, 2019. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Second, Councillor Collins. All in favor? Motion carried. Business arising from the meeting July 16. Any business arising? Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll move to the action sheet of July 2019. The action sheet, follow up with MP McDonald restaffing at the DFO building in Argentia. I again spoke with Mr. McDonald, and he's
Mayor, if
assured,
you're going to speak to this.
I'm not speaking, I'm just going to make clarification, Councilor Patrick. And he is assured that yes, he will follow up on the matter again, and it was his understanding that the building was status quo. Okay, thank you, Councilor Fitzpatrick. Quotes for repairs of the radar sign. Does any committee have this done? The radar sign, the repairs?
There's one that's, they're taking the beating from the weather, like some of the weather, and, there's one that's, they're getting a quote on the repair for right now, and that's the only one that's on one right now.
Okay, can we ask that this ought to be action and taken care of before the next meeting? Any other things on the action list?
Mayor, with respect to the hours of the fitness room access at the arena, the Recreation Committee talked about this at the last meeting, and the Recreation Manager is pending approval of the acting CAO to operate out of the arena during the morning portion until the arena is up. In a couple of weeks, the arena will be in full operation, and then will be open during the hours that the arena is open.
Yeah. Again, in consultation with the CEO, I can't see any problem. Anybody have any concerns with this? Yeah, thank you. Anything else? Move on to the committee reports. First report is the executive committee. The executive committee met September 12, 2019. Myself as the chair, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor Kay Smith, Mary Green, acting CEO, and Rhonda Power as recorder. The executive committee recommends the following. Council approved funding for 2-week employment support at the Arts Centre from September 16 to 27, 2019 as budgeted. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved funding for a Genesis employment worker for Uni Park for a 23-week program for a cost of $4,560. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved a preferred bid for supply and installation of flooring for the town hall from the paint shop at a cost of $6,183.23. Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Mayor, is the old stuff gonna be removed by them there, or is that gonna be left for town?
It was the total cost to him to remove and install.
We'll remove any stuff.
Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved LW Consulting's proposal to include a complete organizational review, replacement of job vacancies, and other current HR issues for a sum of $12,500 plus travel expenses. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions?
Mayor, I have a question. With respect to the replacements of the job vacancies, why haven't those gone out? That was 3 weeks ago that we as council agreed to that. And there's been no job descriptions either passed to council for input or feedback.
I'm not sure. I guess they were waiting for us to approve the motion. Maybe, I'm not sure. We can do a follow-up and see.
So so that's another delay in one of the positions that we've been back and forth on. With respect to the turnaround time, can we put a time frame on?
I think the review of this here actually gives time frames associated with the positions and the review.
So is
There's
that
time
in the
frames
proposal
associated.
that they had sent
just
to
sent-
the executive?
I just sent it recently, yes, last few
So
days.
that wasn't in our package?
I don't believe no.
So what's the timeframes around those?
There was timeframes, I guess it was similar to what was sold, 1 week to, 2 months total. I think 1 week to 10 days was for some of the easier ones, and 2 months possibly, I think, for the CAO position, 6 to 8 weeks.
So that will be done within the next 7 days to be advertised?
I believe the other one's which one, the CAO position?
CAO position.
It should be advertised, yes.
So the CAO position, that's the specific one that we
Yes.
talked about,
Yes.
that a job description was going to be sent to council for review and input and feedback within a couple of days. That was over 3 weeks ago. And because we are a long time without now a CEO, and I think it was unanimous around the table, if I recall correctly, that was to go out ASAP.
Yes, again, Councillor Fitzpatrick, in light of the recent situations, we all have been struggling to try to get everything done. So yes, it's in process, and with approval of the motion here tonight, that will actually put the process moving forward.
So within 7 days, the CAO position will be out the door advertised.
Will be up to the door, should be advertised, yes, according to the contract. Any other questions? All in favour? Motion carried. We need a motion to accept cost sharing funding as outlined in the Municipal Affairs Environment Project approval letter dated July 23rd, 2019 to complete the connection with 3 pans and upgrade the pump house in Dublin. Project number 17 GI-20-00050 for the total of $2,697,480. The town of Placentia agrees to provide municipal share of $489,234 in funding for this project, and authorizes the mayor and the CEO acting to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Municipal Affairs and Environment on behalf of the town of Placentia. Moved by Councillor Collins, second. Councillor Collins-Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approve award of Burnt Woods Place Drainage Water Main and Street Improvements Tender, project number 188-2019-6750 to the preferred bidder, Edward Collins Contracting Limited, for a bid of $488,395.50, an engineering cost of $60,241.31, for a total of $548,636.88. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approve Stuart McKelvey Law Associates to review the RFQ and RFP documents related to the Placentia Wellness Centre at an estimated cost of $4,000 plus HST. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in
I
favour?
have a question.
Yes.
So this is just for the legal portion of this is not connected at all with the owner advisor group.
No, this is the requested RFQs and RFPs. Currently, there's going to be documentation prepared for RFQs. RFQs will be for companies or people or organizations or companies, I guess, that will be interested in developing and building the infrastructure. That will be an RFQ. From that, there will be a short list to actually RFPs, requests for proposals, and documentation has been reviewed by lawyers, and Stuart McKelvey has to review the RFQ and the RFPs in order to get that out to tender for a cost of $4,000.
So the details aren't needed for them to do that? What's going to be needed in the centre?
No. Actually, the details, we're just in the RFQ and the RFP process. This, just for clarification, Councillor Collins-Power, for the public too as well. Previously, governments and municipalities used to do the engineering, the designs and the drawing, and everything was done, and then contractors actually done the build. Government has taken the new change in stance, and on this project, we will give a concept drawing of what we would like to see in this wellness centre, such as 20-metre lanes, a walking trail, fitness room, etc. On the RFP, once that RFP goes out, the companies that are bidding will supply us concept drawings and some engineering of what they actually plan to build and put there. The engineering then and the construction will be up once the successful bidder is determined. That individual bidder will be responsible for doing the design, engineering of the total project. It's not going to be done no more. Previously, we done it, that they built what we designed. Now they have to design and build it themselves. Okay? Anybody need further clarification? Okay? All ready for the question? All in favor? Motion carried. Any other questions on the thing? We go to the action list first. We have an action list. Other things that the executive committee and pending the last meeting, committees were asked to develop an action list coming out of their meetings. Action list would be items that would be brought forward that was addressed and looking for direction. The action list from the executive committee, an RFQ for the town hall AC repair, and the CEO and acting manager are going to take care of this. Vacation schedules. There was some discussion around vacation schedules. It's going to be assigned to the acting CEO. Donation to the Autism Society, acting CEO. The double lot water line engineering agreement. Again, is provided by the acting CEO. The Wellness Center fundraising committee, as a committee is going to be setting up, discussion with individuals now in the municipality to set up a fundraising committee to reach the additional funding required. Seek application for environmental exception for the Wellness Center, manager of tourism, marketing. Seek draft agreement from the YMCA, the acting CEO. Schedule a telephone meeting with the landowner from the adjacent land next to the arena for the Wellness Center. Pursue cleanup of unsightly properties, the acting CEO. Letter of support for Community Connection Housing Coalition, manager of tourism and marketing. Get an RFQ for the firehouse siding repair, manager of tourism and marketing. Consult with consultants on capital works application, mayor. Complaint process for waste collection, acting CEO. Review suggested accounts, Argentia Industrial Park, acting CEO. Any other questions or concerns?
Mayor, I have a question on the consult with consultants on capital works application. I noticed in the executive report that there's agreement to request the assistance of the consultants for capital works funding applications. I'm questioning that as, wouldn't that be the role of our staff to do capital works projects?
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Yes, it's the role of staff. The person that was doing this is currently away on leave, and the other management hasn't got the understanding to fulfill these applications. The application has been in by the end of September for next year's funding.
So our public works superintendent never
filled in before. Nobody filled in the completed application. You know, maybe maybe acting CEO Ms. Green could advise that no, it's a complicated process, much details put into it, and it was actually handled by others with the help of the engineering. Well, previously, capital works projects was done through engineering and staff.
Well, I feel lately it seems that the duties and responsibilities of staff tend to be being put forward as to put into a consultant's hands, and I'm definitely not in agreement with that. And there is no motion on the table to how much that can cost.
Was only asked him to help with the application
It's still
while
a
they were
cost,
here. Okay, so do you want to make a motion that we not do applications by the end of September?
No,
or do you want to
make
make
a
or would you
motion.
like to make a motion?
I would like
Who is to
I
make?
would like to make a motion.
Councillor
that
Fitzpatrick, yes. Make your motion.
The council not request the assistance of the consultant with capital works funding application, that it's left to our staff or company.
Okay, so you want to make a motion for staff to complete the capital works application and not use the consultants. You want to make the motion for staff to complete the application, which is due by September 30th, and the executive committee has discussed with staff, and staff does not have the expertise to do it. So have we got a seconder to the motion? Second the motion, Councillor Hines. Okay, go ahead. Everybody has one chance at the motion, then we'll move for a vote.
I know exactly what Councillor Fitzpatrick is saying. It does seem like we're putting out all this work that really should be done. I feel it should be done way before a week and a half before the deadline. But again, I'm not comfortable in letting staff who seem to be just trying to catch up from summer, and I know that the acting CAO has other things for the next few days with municipal affairs and stuff as well, or really don't want to lose out on the capital funding project because someone was overwhelmed with trying to figure out the paperwork. I see from 100% wanting us to be involved, not us, council, totally looking after that. But I think at this late future, because of the extenuating circumstances we find ourselves in right now, that I think we've lost out on enough, or I don't even know if we have, but I'm not confident in the fact that they have the time to dedicate to that right now.
Okay, Councillor Collins.
No, I'm agreeing with the way to go here. It's just like everybody's trying to catch up. Summer was hard enough and everybody's trying to catch up, and I certainly don't want to miss out on the application. So, you know, and in the future, we will go as Councillor Fitzpatrick had suggested. But right now, I just don't feel it's, I think we're going to get lost in time and things are going to get delayed and we're going to lose it.
Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Well, I've just stated mine. I'm not in agreement with using consultants. I feel that we are going to consultants on a regular basis now for any decisions that we as a council have to make or that staff duties and responsibilities have to do.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Well, I guess the thing right now is, and I guess we identified that we're currently, looking for a CAO to fill the capabilities of being able to perform duties. And right now we got our finance chair is still the acting role of CAO, and certainly got enough on our hands right now to try to be doing capital works. The person who done all the capital works project is currently off on sick leave, and we haven't filled that role yet. So until that role is filled and completed, it's hard to put that onto somebody else and go out and do the research and make sure it's done correct. The consultants do have people that work with municipal affairs and stuff in the past and understands how these things work. And actually, I was probably one that probably pushed this in the executive meeting to get this back to make sure that we don't miss it on funding. So, that's the reason why we got forward. I'm hoping that once we do get set away over next fall and put another executive person in the acting role and put a new CAO in place, that we certainly understand that when it comes to Fitzpatrick saying we are spending a lot of money here lately on consultants, and that is not an ideal situation. We do need to start getting in house and doing stuff ourselves.
Councillor Smith.
I think in this instance and the time frame involved, we should use consultants.
Councillor Collins-Parker.
I do agree with what Councillor Fitzpatrick has said with regard to the consultants and all the other councillors have mentioned. But also that also goes to the importance of us getting staffing on board and helping the burden that other staff are carrying for up to summer through our labor dispute and stuff. So I believe that should be number one priority is for us to get staffing in place. And another thing that we could look, I'd like to see us look at is if our current superintendent, if he needs any kind of training, we should look at getting him trained in that, and then that way we're sure to get in on his expertise and things. So I'd like to see
normally the CEO would be overseeing.
CAO, or I didn't know if the superintendent's in on that or not. But certainly, I'd like to see us get that hired. And given the time on it is only really 2 weeks away, for sure that's important. But yes, I agree with when the next phase comes, we should get a list of what's coming down the pipe so we're ready for it, so we don't have to go to consultants again. Or not again, but soft.
Okay, thank you. Okay, call for the vote. All in favor of the motion? Those against the motion? Motion defeated. Okay, and again, just to clarify there, the consultants, yes, and this was brought up to the executive committee about the need and the deadline of September 30th. And just to clarify, the September 30th coming fast approach, and, you know, the CAO, acting CEO, Ms. Green was in the meeting, and council was advised, the executive committee was advised that no, we probably would not get this in place unless we trump up with an offer. And the deputy mayor suggested, yes, maybe we should reach out to do it. The time is approaching.
So
Okay.
Mayor, what is the cost for that? There has to be a cost for that.
The
You
cost-
must have a quote. We're not
Well, you
talking
would be
about like-
understanding that the cost for the consultants, which is not, you know, exuberant cost. The cost of the consultants for us, so the date, you know, has been $100 for 3 individuals. So
It's not the
certainly,
question I
okay,
asked. The
but,
question I asked is
but
what's the cost for
but
this?
Councillor Fitzpatrick, could you please direct the chair appropriately? I don't need to be cut off, I don't like your tone just there, I'm trying to answer your question, okay? If you let me answer your question, and then you can ask another question, okay? The cost, $100 per hour, is for 3 consultants that are out here. The intention of the executive committee was that while they're out here doing this other work, we would ask them to try to review and get this application, help us with the application. If it's 2 or 3 or 5 hours, it would be cost of $200, $300, or $500. The cost, the travel cost, they would already be here doing the other files that they have to take care of. So maybe we, and then the motion is done. Yes, it probably would be a cost of $500. I'm not sure of the cost, but we need to get the application done. And council has decided that. Okay, any other questions? We'll move on to the Finance Committee report.
The Finance Committee met on September 10th, 2019, and in attendance were Councillor Jamie Fitzpatrick, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Mary Green, Acting Manager, CAO, and Catherine Smith was recorder, and me as chair. The Finance Committee made the following recommendations. That council approved the accounts payable transaction journal dated September 9th, 2019, in the amount of $61,865.45.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the check register for the operating account in the amount of $390,305.79 for checks numbered 027900 to 027968.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
And council approved the special accounts check register for the month of September 2019.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions?
I don't have a question, Mayor, but I do have a comment. During our finance meeting, we talked about the invoice for LW Consulting was under special accounts, and that we agreed that.
Let the committee do that. If it's administrative cost or something, sort it out with the CEO. Okay? Check register. All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the visa statement expenditure for the period of June 28th to August 27th, 2019, totaling $1,076.87.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved a one-time only interest adjustment to account H1CKJ005 in the amount of $448.96, pending the balance of account is paid in full.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved a one-time only interest adjustment to account ROLLA001 in the amount of $282.54.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the flooring quote from Placentia Bay Designs in the amount of $6,183.23 to supply and install flooring in 5 offices at the town hall.
This motion was already done, Councillor Smith.
That council approved the request from the Public Works Committee to spend an additional $15,000 on paving on the public works budget as identified.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions?
Is that being completed? I know they're in here, I know it's a big hunting year and so on. Is that been-
No, I think there's some more work done. I think they're supposed to come out last week, and I think because of the delays on the highway and stuff, I know the machinery is still up in Dunville, and there is still some work to be done.
So Public Works has identified the work that needs to be done is getting done.
All the areas that are marked throughout the town with regards to the areas that are identified by the Public Works Supervisor, and that will be looked at.
Okay, any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the quote from Ames Limited to fix the fire hall's door panel in the amount of $1,089.37, including HST, with the stipulation that warranty for the work is provided.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? Was this a damaged door panel or what was this, replacing a door panel? Is it one panel or a whole
There
door?
was one panel, is what the report had said. And it was a little bit less for the crew to put it in, but just to make sure that we had it put in properly. And
Any questions? All in favour? All in favour? Motion carried.
And council approved to move the payment for LW Consultant from special projects to the general account in the amount of $8,550.20.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favour? Motion carried. Any other questions on the Finance Committee report? Move on to Public Works.
No, I just want to touch on one thing, is okay, Mayor?
Yes,
The interest relief, there's an interest relief request back forward to the Finance Committee. And what happens is, if somebody paid 12 months in advance, and they pay on, with advance, some people pay advance, but they'll pay 12 months consecutively. If you pay for 12 months consecutively, it's interest free, okay? So you don't have to pay interest based on if you got 12 monthly payments already preset. Well, let's say if you set up quarterly payments, and you actually, if you paid before September, and you had your full amount paid off, but you didn't pay it off in monthly installments, then at that point, you would have to pay interest after the June 30th date, But if you paid in full by September, you will get charged interest because the municipal fair guidelines, I believe you says you have to have your bill paid in full by June 30th, unless you got 12 equally month payments. Which, you know, it don't make sense. When it's brought to the attention, I can understand how somebody could be a little bit upset. They understand that anybody who paid monthly installments up to December wouldn't have to pay interest, or interest is forgiven at the end, all right? But if I paid mine off, say if I paid so much in March, so much in June, so much in September, and so much in October, but once I passed that June 30th date, I would have to pay interest on the total amount I got.
okay, Deputy Mayor,
So something we should look at budget time.
well, for clarification, even though the Municipalities Act states that yes, it has to be paid in June and it's there, the Municipality Act also states that council has a right to make adjustments to anyone's account based on the reasonable rationale. So even though it may not be, and to me, it doesn't make sense. If you pay over the 12 months, you get your discount, or you don't be charged with interest if you're paying it there would. So I think that can be still taken individually by step, and we can make application, then it's still a process that we would make an adjustment to the accounts based on, for whatever reason. The Municipalities Act states that we can adjust, we can write off or eliminate some of these taxes for whatever the case you may want to be. But again, rather than have a blanket policy, we have a policy about interest. You know, if you're going to be paying within that year, we're not going to be charging you interest, especially after if you give the 12 months payment. So again, I would say that anybody that can come in outside of that, the Finance Committee could review, and if the Finance Committee makes a recommendation there, council has a right to eliminate or do whatever with the taxation. So that's already there.
So yeah, so we're, you know.
So maybe the committee could just review and if there is an issue with that, because I don't think that was the intent of anyone here, and it certainly seems like it's a It's a double standard. Okay. So maybe the finance committee could review and just come up with this again. Any other questions on finance? Move to the public works committee. Deputy Mayor.
Public Works met on September the 9th. In attendance was myself, Councillor Collins, and Councillor Hines. Staff members was Adam Adams, the Public Works Superintendent, Ms. Duke recording, and Ms. Garrett was absent. The Public Works Committee made the following recommendations. Council approved the application for Fabian King to construct a residential extension at 9 Bill Marie Drive, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Scott Stone to construct a residential extension at 16 Larkin Drive, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for William Rule to construct a shed at 12 Dixon Street, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for John McCrow to construct a shed at 51 Blockhouse Road, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Rodney Bruce to construct a shed at 194C Ferndale Road, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Second, Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Donald and Patricia Jensen to construct a shed at 186 Crescent, Freshwater Crescent.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Mike Williams to construct a shed at 21 Fort Lewis Road.
One moment now.
Okay.
Manager's left. Okay. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor, sorry.
Council approved the application for Mike Williams to construct a shed at 21 Fort Lewis Road, so moved.
At 21 or 12? 12 is on mine.
It's 21. I'll say it's going to be 21.
Okay. Okay, 21. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Speed. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. As this power comes back.
The council approved the application for Alan Green to construct a patio at 50 Swans Road, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved in principle the application for a suite spot B&B and tea room to acquire an occupancy permit at 161 to 167 Bonds Path, pending Service NL approval, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Argentia Gold Corp to acquire an occupancy permit at 12 Marquis Avenue, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Argentia Gold Corp to erect the sign at 12 Marquis Avenue and the corner of Marquis and Charter Avenue, pending permission from AMA or Department of Transportation and Works, so moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Would this be on their property or is it on AMA's property?
It's on the AMA property on the inside of the turn there, coming off the street. Council approved the application for Luke and Jill Malloy to erect the sign at 161, 167 Bonds Path.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions?
Not the sign.
Is it under the sign regulations? We have zoning regulations as well. Make sure that they follow this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application of Geo Gale to construct a bench at number 1 Ville Marie Drive. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
There was an application denied on signage because it didn't meet the signs or rules or regulations set forth by the town. Other than that, just to let people know, we have had some properties removed that were signed sent out on dilapidated properties. So there has been some homes and stuff removed and taken down and properties cleaned up due to that. The other thing is, and we'll do some advertising, the bulk pickup date is for October 21st for 2019 for all residents. Other than that, that is it, unless someone else has something.
So the dilapidated structures, council has taken some action and some of those have been removed. And again, it's continuing.
Yep, and just another thing is the wastewater update. I mean, there's a lot of media publicity on wastewater and update. We'll get a full update at the next meeting. That was something about for the last one. But as you know, that our focus has been on clean water, not wastewater. So I guess we're going to be with every other municipality, probably not meeting the guidelines and rules because we're trying to provide clean water to our residents instead of, I guess, use the outfalls for our wastewater. But we'll have an update on that from our public works advisor next month.
Thank you. Any other questions for Public Works? Move on to Public Safety Committee report.
Public safety took place on September 9th, and in attendance was myself, Councillor Collins Power, and Councillor Hines. Also present were staff members, Public Works Superintendent Adam Green, recording nurse Kathy Duke, and Ms. Garrett was absent. Recommendations, we have a recommendation that the fire department door panel replacement be installed and warranted by a company to ensure proper warranty at the cost of $1,089.37.
Take that motion.
That's already passed.
Thank you.
Also, there wasn't any other recommendations. We just reviewed over the radar statistics reports, and the speeds are still up. We are going to be removing those signs around the town again in the next week or so. Also, with the winter months approaching, we'll be taking down some of the signs in some of the areas because of the damage from the clouds that's happening to the signs. And we gotta try to get them fixed. So once the winter starts, we'll be shifting them not where there's such heavy cloud work being done. Let me see. Also in the Frecker place, we're looking at changing the speed limit from 20 to 30 because the 20-kilometer speed limit is not realistic, and we just decided we're going to we'll be looking at and have to change the speed limit. Sorry. The RCMP report is in. They have about 100 service calls out already as of from their last report. We have trail in Jersey side is a regular walk path that rock has to be removed from it because it's causing some concern for us. And we discussed some speed bumps, and we're still looking at that. And we'll probably see about that up into spring. The emergency plan is being held, and we're going to be going back over that also. We just want to let the public know that if there is an event that the emergency plan will be put into action, that you will be notified by our system, our telephone system. So we just want to let you know that it is being worked on, and we'll certainly be letting the residents know if there's something that for some reason we have to use that plan. Hopefully you won't have to. And also at this time, we're asking the residents of the town to make sure all around your property is looked after, because with the high winds and that, and some of these recent storms could end up causing some damage. So we're just asking people to look around your properties and help a neighbor who's unable to get out around, or a senior, just help secure their properties when we have these upcoming windstorms. And that's about it for my report.
Hey, notice that your side trail sign you're saying is in danger and should be removed. Has that been done? Anybody? Was it your
The
meeting?
public works supervisor was looking at it, and he was hoping to get it done that week, but where he's off right now, I don't,
Again, to make sure that it's an action item, because if there's something in danger there, it should certainly be done immediately. That shouldn't be left around.
Mayor, I do believe that there's a rock to be removed first, and that was the danger. They want to, before the snow comes to winter, and to put up a sign saying, you know, be careful on the path, because there covers us off naturally.
Anyway, make sure that it's noted, right?
Mr. Mayor, can I also just bring another, something else to attention to? Over the summer, we had some damage done to our playground equipment down by the old hospital. And it's been repaired. I asked the other day, and that was to be removed, just to let people know, if you see somebody out around damaging this equipment, can you notify, call the RCMP, take it on yourself and call the RCMP, or if it's during the daytime, certainly contact the town office, because the damage that was done down there that night is certainly unsafe for some kids, because some kids could have went down and got on that piece of equipment and could have probably severely cut somebody, or probably amputated an arm or a leg. So we're asking people, like, please do not go in and destroy our equipment. It's put there for a reason. It could be for your little brother, little sister, or a relative, or whatever. So we're just asking you that you please respect our playground equipment and our properties. And we do have signs posted on the properties. If you're caught there after certain hours, that we certainly would be looking at laying charges. So that's about it for that.
Hey, any other, under public safety?
Mayor, I just have a question around, I noticed, Councillor Collins, that you discussed the dog pound.
Yes.
And who's responsible for it?
The dog pound would be, to me, well, the dog pound is, to me, we're still responsible. If the town is responsible for it, I don't know if there is.
We own the dog
agreement.
pound, just to interrupt there, point of clarification. Dog pound, the town of Placentia has rented or leased agreement from the AMA for the building. We are responsible for the upkeep and
We are
maintenance of that
responsible.
there property, right? So if there's something that should be done there, your committee should do, and obviously means staff, we should get something done. If that has to be cleaned up, it has to be done, and we should make sure, right?
I've already
There are
got that,
rules and regulations surrounding those dog pounds. We want to make sure that we're complying.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and I did bring that forward to my committee, because not only being a dog owner, but I mean, like when somebody's dog, some people like their dogs, their animals are like their children or whatever. And I would certainly want my dog put in a place that's safe and clean, and I'm not saying that ours isn't. It's just that there's an area there needs to be cleaned up, and we're working on that. And also just to, you know, like paint up the building, do a little bit of work around, and that's being worked on.
We have a municipal enforcement officer, and I would suggest that maybe he should review that and see what needs to be done, and not be done.
So, Mayor, I'm just wondering, what are our numbers with respect to the dog pound, legalization of the dog pound?
Well, right,
Go ahead, Councillor.
right now, on, say, our animal control, this year our numbers are down for licensing animals. I think we're probably down in the 30s for licensing animals. And where we used to be up into the 70s, the 80s. And we're asking people to license your dog, because if they're caught, we can return them, you know, within a time frame. You know, but if we don't have no ID on them, we gotta put them down there for the night, and it's not a good, you know, it's stressful for the dog enough alone as it is. But we're asking people, like, make sure you get your dog's license, and a good time to remember to do it is around your tax time when you're paying your tax bill. Make sure, and you know, it's a good reminder to have it out at that time. We're also having a problem now. We've noticed over the summer and the last couple of weeks, we do have some roaming dogs around, and just to forewarn the owners, if they are caught, that they will be taken by our town staff and placed in the pound until fines are paid and licenses are put on the animals. So just to let you all know. And also we have some wild creatures running around. I know there's a few foxes around town. There's moose up in the hospital zone. So I'm just asking people to be, when you're out walking around, just to be a little bit more kind of going around, looking around, just to make sure, because those animals are around the go around. Lions Manor is every day we see him up around there. So just to let you know, but that's good.
I have a question too about the nuns' yard in the convent. I hear the kids are getting in there.
That's been secured.
So that there obviously anything that's brought to the town like that their safety or security staff should immediately respond and get distracted.
And Mr. Mayor, also just to let the people know that if the kids go in there, like, there's nothing safe inside that building. Anything can come down on top of them, and they may not be lucky enough to get out. But just to forewarn people, please stay away from inside that building because it's unsafe. We don't send our staff in there inside the building as such, but we just don't want people to make it as a hangout, and we are keeping a view to the area.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Collins. Anything else for public safety? We move on to Culture and Tourism Committee report. Councillor Hines.
Right, so I had trouble with my, I have backup. I had trouble with my iPad this evening, so I apologize for that. We had our tourism committee report on September 9th, and in attendance was myself, Chair Rhonda Power, Councillor Kay Smith, Marketing Communications, Councillor Noel, who this is all mixed up, and Nita O'Keefe was a tourism assistant, she was reporting. We have one recommendation, that the committee recommends that the executive committee extend an invitation to the former convent committee to reactivate and include new membership from the community if interest exists.
Okay, thank you. So we'll put that on the executive report and certainly push to try to move and see what we can do with that. Yeah. Yes.
And that's a recommendation, so does that have to be put forward? We already activated that.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion for that. I think that's yes.
A note on that is discussions that I know that they're having with, I was having with the Economic Development Officer and with the COA and stuff, because it's not, we're a partner in getting this done. I think that the executive would be interested in having upcoming meetings with that as well. So I will inform the executive when that meeting is probably this week as a courtesy.
Thank you, Councillor Hines.
The Voices 2019 update. Oh, I'm good with this. I'm good, thank you very much. Yep. I'm not going to read it all. It's going to be a quick one. Voices 2000 update is the Voices of Placentia Bay Festival, which was postponed to our labor dispute. The Placentia 350, as you know, is the main organizer for this, and the town is a kind of partner with that. We've discussed it with the funding, with the Heritage Canada funding, and is anyone on there? No?
No.
Okay, Roddy?
Good, yeah.
You're on table already?
No, I'm just keep going. No, you're good.
So we,
Keep going.
Ms. Power has gotten information that we can kind of keep our funding and just make an adjustment to how this Voice of Placentia Bay rolls out. It's still under the same mandate. So the nice thing is it's actually going to hopefully improve some of our fall events, because we're going to be able to spread out some performances, have a couple of family days, and they're not weather dependent, which is great. So I know that she was working on scheduling all the performers and the places for that. So that will, I'd say, come out within the next week or so, the confirmation of that. So we're going to be able to add to the farmers market, add to a fun event, add to the Santa Claus parade, because it hasn't happened within a 28-day period. So we've made adjustments to that. I think it's going to be quite successful this year. The Irish update.
Just when is the plan for the events?
The events will happen within a 28-day period, probably just before Remembrance Day, and that'll bring us right up to our Santa Claus parade and tree lighting ceremony.
Okay.
So the events within
Thank
that.
you. Stay
Of course, it won't be
tuned.
holiday oriented until after Remembrance Day.
Thank you.
The Irish update, we had a group of fantastic Irish visitors, and with the tragic events that happened around that, their event at the Star Hall that night, they were all like true Irish people. They pulled together and pulled through, and we were able to have a beautiful prayer service for Mr. Dowie. and we extend our condolences to his whole family again. But, you know, it was still a successful, you know, part of that's life, so they still continued on and had a successful visit and learning opportunity within Placentia, and I think that was such a great, not even just people who were hosting the families, but people came out to meet them and greet them and be part of their festivities and events. So that was, I think, very popular within the town. Our wayfinding project, as you see, there's a lot of posts up. We ran into some delays, of course, with the labor dispute. I believe that was one of the major causes of it. But I know that some mason work is anticipated being done very shortly. And hopefully, if everything works out well, we'll get a push on get that finished up sooner than later. Again, with the convent, it's a big job, and I think we're only part of the solution to that. So that'll be, you know, a big topic even before we get into budget season then as well. There was an event where I left the room because I was in conflict, so I won't discuss that. Fort Louis, over in Jersey side, it got a little bit of a makeover, an extreme makeover, midsummer, and still looks good. And there's a lot of visitors there all summer. I think our plan was to get some areas of archaeological correctness to it now and mark off and have natural meadows there, so it's not just a big open mowed area. And we have storyboards and stuff, so we got a lot of the work done. There is some more. Hopefully that budgeting we budgeted for last year and the year before goes through again, or even more this year. But before budget time hits, we're actually going to be looking to meet with Public Works as well as the society that's helping us make a plan, actually have a documented plan for what happens over the winter, as well as hopefully for early spring for outside work. And Courthouse Gun Plaque. The Courthouse Gun Plaque will possibly be unveiled on November 11th. This is a partnership between the Royal Canadian Legion, Friends of the Courthouse, Town Placentia, and Veteran Affairs, so I'm looking forward to that. We're talking about planning for our Gentia Day, kind of partner with the Festival Flags traditionally have been part of it, but people were looking for that this year, so that shows us that there's a want for the community. And the Freshwater Bridge, which was brought to the Tourism Committee, was also actually gone to Public Works Committee as well, because there's a couple loosened boards on it as well. I think that was to do with the water levels and the moisture in the area. We have a couple things on our added to our action items, and we have the little right. No, I'm not very mom. So we're good. If anyone wants, if the councillors have any questions or have any input onto the action item that you see on the end of your committee report, I'd love to have some input so we can kind of. We'd like to have a little bit of this work done in preparation for our budget plans.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hines. Any other questions for Councillor Thorson? We'll move on to the Recreation Committee report. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Recreation Committee met on September the 11th, and attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Collins Power, Deputy Pearson, Recorder Catherine Smith, and Mr. Lord Pike was our Recreation Manager, was also in attendance. We have some recommendations. Committee recommends to rehire the arena attendant, George Daly, for the 2019-2020 season.
Why would we need to, do we need a motion to be heard?
We don't.
I think it's in the budget. I think
Yes,
It is in the budget.
again, he's been a seasonal employee just when he comes back.
Okay.
I don't think there's a motion required there. He is a,
We will skip that. Next one. Committee recommends council approve a $90 ice rental rate from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday night, and from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday night.
8 to 10 on Friday.
And 9
And
to
9 to
10
10
on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
You'll understand with the next
All right.
recommendation.
Okay, so this recommendation moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? Is this because the arena's not being utilised at the time?
It is. It's trying to entice people to register during those times. There's not a lot of uptake on that. We did it for part of the season last year, And we got a little bit more momentum, or a little bit more rentals, with the reduced rate, but it typically is at a time in which it's not utilized.
And again, bear in mind that if it's not going to be being utilized, then we probably should look at structuring our hours to suit the utilization of the building. If it's not being utilized and we're trying everything to get it utilized, and we don't have it being utilized on Friday, Saturday nights, well, then obviously we should look at utilization. Okay, so moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Deputy Mayor. All in favour? Motion carried.
So the reason for the Saturday night 9 to 10, the next recommendation of the committee is council approve a public free skate Saturday nights from 8 to 9 p.m.
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour? Oh,
Do you want to go with just the rationale a little bit behind
So
it?
the
I want to ask them the question of, what would you want to do as free skate?
So the reason for the free skate, after several discussions around the committee table, a lot of times last year, there was potential ice rentals for the 7 to 8 time slot, either for private rentals or rec hockey or figure skating or minor hockey. And when we looked at, we asked the manager to look into what's our revenue for the Saturday night skate. And it was, the highest was $22. That was our revenue for Saturday night. So, and we know that there was times in which we wanted to, like, we could have rented that time, but we didn't want to take it away from the residents. So also the committee looked at it and said, what if we moved our Saturday night to 8 to 9 and had the free skate for residents, for those that possibly would want to come and try skating, even though we don't have an exorbitant fee. Sometimes $2 to some individuals may be a lot, right? So we still got our free skates. We got our Friday night skates from 7 to 8. We got the Saturday night 8 to 9, and we got our family skate from 4 to 5. So we still maintain our 3, and we have the potential to increase our revenue during that 7 to 8 time frame.
the 8 to 10. Okay.
No, 7 to 8 was originally the public skate for Saturday.
Okay.
night. So we just moved it ahead.
So now that's open for rentals.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Committee recommends council approve to eliminate the $25 warm room charge for birthday parties. So
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Councillor Collins Power. Why are we eliminating rental of?
we don't have a room to put them in now. That's a fitness room.
Well, if
So
we
the
don't
room
have a
that-
room, right, we have rental properties and what about birthday parties? If people want to rent it for a birthday party, they can't now.
They can rent the others,
Yes,
but the warm room is a public room.
yes.
We can't close that down for a private. event.
We've been closing it down to rental parties. I mean, this is the Art Centre is a public room and we close it down to public rentals. And we're trying to generate revenue at the arena as well. So, to eliminate it, are we eliminating then, to me, to be no birthday parties being at there unless you just want to go with your ice rentals. The room is anybody's room. You can solely have it as a birthday party room.
Well, see,
So if you want to have a birthday party there, and anybody wants to come in and sit down and watch or do whatever the case, then they would be able to, because it's not going to be a private rental. Is that the intent of the committee?
It is.
Okay, so for all intents and purposes, the private room or the room in the arena, there is no more rental of that room for birthday parties.
If they want to utilize, if they rent the ice and they want to utilize that room upstairs to have their cake, then they can, knowing full well that that is a public area.
Yes, but so right now, we're renting the ice, we're not renting the room.
We're not-
So if you rent all we can do is rent the ice. If you want to rent the ice, you rent the ice, and the room comes with the ice. Is that the intent?
we did get a lot of feedback from people saying that, you know what, we are renting the ice and now you're charging me an extra $25 to go into the room. We got that too, a lot, believe it or not. And then we were trying to settle that with people saying, well, you got a warm room upstairs and let's say the skate was 7 to 8 or 4 to 5. And then there was a team come in from outside and had a hockey game after that. Then they couldn't access the warm room upstairs. There was a number of issues around that, so in order, I guess, the committee felt the best thing to do is just eliminate.
So the warm room is related to the ice rental. So if you have the ice rented from 8 to 9, you only have the warm room 8 to 9. If somebody else has it 9 to 10, it's open to them at 9 to 10 or whatever the case may be. It's that 10 10.
My understanding was it was a public, the warm room was a public.
It's a public.
Just public.
Yeah, we don't close it off, yeah.
Yes. okay.
I have a question about cake. Not generally cake, but cake. What about messes and stuff? If they're going up, like, does anyone with the $25 used to cover cleaning that, or they?
No, because when the room was rented, it was the responsibility of the individual to clean it.
But
Maybe
now
there's
if it's
no-
not rented, and they have the birthday cake there, who's going to clean it? Do they still have
It's
to
still
clean?
the same, it's still the same, because prior to that, the warm room has been used in past events, has been used for years as the warm room, is what is referred to as the warm room. Warm room has been used for birthday parties, to give it out their cake and not rent the room. Because they don't want to pay the $25. So they're going up, they're putting their tables out, 4 or 6, and they come up and they give them their cake.
Okay, so, just in
It's a
case,
public room.
Yeah, it'd be hard to monitor.
just for that, the only thing is, it's a public room, it's not, if anybody wants to go up, there's a party, or somebody's having cake, whoever wants to go up, they can
Yeah.
partake in the room.
Yeah.
Hockey team came in the meantime, they could walk there.
They can go on up in the room.
Make
So
everyone-
we rent the ice, we don't rent the room. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Okay? Did we have much revenue from the rental of the room last year?
Not only exactly, so.
Not much?
Waiting in 3 or 4.
All right, any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Our next recommendation was already covered by the executive, around the hiring of a Genesis worker. Our next recommendation is, committee recommends executive approve the manager of recreation and community programming attend managers meetings in Marystown October 3rd for 1 night with the accommodation, meals, and travel expenses as per our policy.
Okay, would they use the town's vehicle? In the previous, we were using the town vehicle, right? So it would be the hotel. Okay, moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Second, Councillor Collins Power. All in favor? Motion carried.
That's all of our recommendations. I went to the
Okay. Right, move on to community engagement and communications report.
Mayor, I do have a couple more items there,
Oh.
before you move on to the next page. The fitness room hours, I discussed that at the beginning. The outside stairway access and 6 dressing room are in the process of being completed.
That reminds me of the outside stair access. When Architect 49 was reviewing the arena, and they're saying that we're actually building and we're not conforming to development regulations. We're building a wooden stairs in that building, and the stairway going up to an upstairs can't be wooden because whenever there's a fire, now your stairway just burnt down. So we should be very careful before we spend any more money on doing any of the stairs. We should make sure that it is up to code and up to par, because if we have others there and in the event that there is something there, she identified that there, so maybe we should ask the public works supervisor to review that and see what the outcome is, right? Because we don't want to do something ourselves, it's against the development regulations. Okay, sorry about that, just, they identified that when they were doing Architect 49 was doing a review of the arena in association with the Wellness Center.
The tender for the canteen is, should be out or is out. I don't recall seeing it. To operate the arena, operate the canteen for this year.
Do I need to leave?
What's this?
Okay.
It's just, it's just the tender.
The tenders.
Will be out shortly,
Yeah,
for the.
Can we make sure that that goes on our site?
Yes.
Any tenders or anything that we're doing now, in order to try to encourage, we have a new site. And we should be putting in, on our site, when you hit on the site right away, we should have tenders or opportunities, something there. As soon as you hit it, if it's the tender for the floor covering, if it's a tender for, replace some street lights, whatever the case be, that's where we should be trying to put our tenders. And on our site, that gets people to be visiting our site more and promoting us as well.
Just a couple more items. The summer program had 166 kids registered in it this year. They did a week of testing of full day programming. It wasn't full day, it was 4 specific hours. There was some feedback that was gathered from that, sent back to Placentia Area Development Association. But overall, the program was very successful. The splash pad is supposed to be starting groundwork within the very near future. And the softball season had 180 kids registered this season. That's a significant number.
Really,
So for the softball association, that's a very successful second season for them. So congratulations to the softball association and the executive. And the Recreation Advisory Committee has their next meeting next week, and they'll be back up and running. And then we just had some preliminary discussions on some budget items to look at for the upcoming budget for 2020.
Okay. Any other questions? Move on to community engagement and communication report. Excuse me.
The committee met on September 9th, and in attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Collins, Councillor Fitzpatrick, and our resource person was the mayor for the marketing and communications, Ms. Powell, and our recorder was Ms. Smith. We don't have any recommendations. They've already been, I believe it was a budget item, I should clarify. The committee recommends that council approve the purchase of 12 town Placentia flags for Winco Enterprises in the amount of $1,269.60 as budgeted. I'm not sure, I guess we have to put that forward. It is a budgeted.
Yes. Okay, moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second, Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
And just to clarify, they are custom made flags, so that's what it is. $1,200 mark on that. No particular items, I guess, as such. Just the PVI's conference is now on Wednesday or tomorrow. And so at the arena, the theme is Capture the Momentum. So we will have a booth there, and you may see some councillors there at that booth helping to answer any questions. And we will be doing a little posting, I guess, regarding Mayor's March for Heartless Road, which is we've scheduled for this Thursday at 6 in the town square. And the Eastern Health Community Advisory Committee, they have a new committee formed, which was they're developing a strategy around primary care. So they've reached out to different participants there, and they invited the manager of tourism, marketing, and communications to join that committee. And that's about it, I believe. And we haven't set a date for our next community consultation, but we have decided that we will postpone, or I shouldn't say postpone, our next one will be held after the budget. We'll present some information then, and possibly, I guess, depending on how the committee is structured or who's on the committee, we are recommending that each committee member take a portion of their budget and present it and give the information to the public at the session. But we'll still go ahead with our feedback, our online forms or our forms you pick up at the town office to give your feedback on the budget.
Okay.
And
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns for community engagement? Communication. Thank you, Councillor Collins Power. Correspondence. think most has gone past. The Dumble Water board order for Dumble Water. Has that been addressed? Is it because it was my understanding that the provincial government done a water testing and had a bad sample. Excuse me. The normal practice is it's a board order until they get 3 consecutive good samples. Has there been further testing on there, or what is the status of the board order on Dumble? Has anybody know definitely from your committee?
Not be able to tell you, Mayor. I know that I was talking to the public works supervisor on it, and I guess he was waiting for Service and Hell to do the checks. So I'm not sure if Service and Hell has done the amount of checks required to lift the ball order. Maybe Mrs. Green could check it, just to see.
We should certainly, be onto the environment because, it may have even been a bad sample that caused us to put a ball order on. We're unsure, but in the side of caution, we have to have a ball order. And it's up to the government when the ball order is put on, they also have to do the testing to remove the ball order. So I think action should be taken on that right away. And the Trinity Conception Health Foundation, I guess that's going fast. Okay. That's it. Any other information for correspondence? Excuse me, okay. Other business councillors, Councillor Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. I alluded to it earlier. During our summer, we had the Irish visitors, and we had our evening at the Star Hall. It was quite a number of the staff were witness, and I was, and Councillor Smith was there as well with her Irish guests. And, we had a tragic event happen that evening. And I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, we all talked about it as in our committee meeting the other day and how affected we were of it. Not wanting to discuss it too much, but it was certainly, it affected everybody at that event. And, especially his family. That I just want to extend my heartfelt condolences to people who witnessed that, not just his family, because that was a horrendous thing to have to kind of go through. And I really want to thank everyone for keeping their cool and doing what needs to be done, and just kind of making sure that no one was, upset and left in an upset fashion and stuff. So again, it was a big thing. I hope we never have to go through that, but again, condolences to the family and to the folks who are hurt with Larry's passing.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. Councillor Collins.
I echo James' word also. Sad day for Placentia, and anybody who knew Larry Dowie, especially at the archives, and that he is very well interested in the Newfoundland history. And that's I send out my condolences also. Also, I'd like to send out a good luck wish to a local girl from Placentia down in the U.S. Her name is Veronica Cal Torres. She's taking place in the Bank of America Chicago Marathon in October. And anybody who knows Veronica's she's left here a while now, but she visits home, and she's quite the runner. She's into all kinds of fitness, but anyway, she's taking part in the marathon, and I'd like to wish Veronica the best of luck in the run, and just make sure you stay hydrated during the run.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I want to build upon Councillor Holmes' comments around the events around Mr. Dowie and things. Number one is congratulations to everybody who were involved with that, because from what I heard, it was professional, it was done very well, and in very difficult time. And I think that it brings to light that we really need to have a plan, because it's always on the back burner when we're planning events, and the reality is that could happen. And we need to be prepared for that. So leading up to the event, I think that should be part of the planning process. but we also should have support available for individuals that were at that event. And we should have had that support immediately for both our counselors, our staff, and even just for the delegation that was in the event at that time. And I think that's something that we need to plan as a contingency plan as we move forward with any events. So I do want to congratulate you on your, I can't, congratulate doesn't even, it's not the right word. But yeah, so I'll move on to other things. Congratulations, in addition to all of the individuals that the mayor had highlighted in the beginning around from ball hockey to softball to things like that. The under 19 Placentia Fast Pitch team, they won the 2019 provincials here in Dublin. So on home field. So that was one that I want to extend my congratulations to. And I know we've talked about condolences, and my condolences to the Gammon family and to the Crean family. But I do want to speak about, send my condolences to, around, particularly to Val's. The mayor highlighted he is a firefighter and a Legionnaire. I knew him as a husband and a grandfather and a father. He was the individual that was a great supporter of recreation of the youth in this area. And for me personally, he'll be missed of having a chat while he's watching his grandsons on the sidelines. And then he's trying to bring up some council stuff and watch the game at the same time and probably shout at one of his grandchildren to go with it and things like that. So my condolences to the family. He will be missed around the stadium. And my condolences to all others, the Joey family and the family as well. And my last piece is, it was a long summer. It was a difficult summer, and I'm delighted that all staff are back to work and the labor dispute is over. And I know that town employees sometimes get the raw end of the stick, for lack of a better word, but I will be the first to say that our town employees are phenomenal individuals. They go above and beyond the work that they do. Many of them take it almost as their personal task. And I can speak particularly to the recreation side, because I deal with the recreation side. And that arena is like their home, for example. The playgrounds are like their home. The softball fields are like their home. And they have it in tip-top shape. And no, I don't expect any of the other workers to be any different from what I've heard and seen from it. So welcome back, everybody, and looking forward to this year.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Deputy Mayor.
I got two items. First of all, I'd like to wish all the students a successful year. They just started out the journey and finished up summer holidays that flew by so quick. So I'd like to wish the teachers and students a successful year, and as they continue their journey on into their school year and further on. And the other thing is I would like to pass along my thing on the strike. I was glad to see that the town and its workers came to a fair resolution to be able to put this aside and get on with the business at hand of the town and work for the betterment of the residents and stuff. So I would like to wish the workers, I'm glad to see them back. I'm glad to see the resolution. And I look forward to moving on and continue to be successful in the town of Placentia as we always are. So that's it for me.
Councillor Smith.
I'd like to offer my condolences also to the Joey family and to our people in the community who have died, especially to Mary McLean, because I've known her for years from the Legion and from the choir and everything else. And I'd also like to welcome back the town employees. And I'd like to wish Debbie here a speedy recovery, because she just went through surgery. So I know we're thinking about it.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Collins Power.
I just have a couple of items. With regard to, I know the Councillor Collins mentioned it in the safety report around the roaming dogs, and along myself have heard as well, reports of dogs that are roaming loose in the town. Just to remind residents that enforcement is out, and pictures and emails and things like that are coming into the town. So you may think it's going unnoticed, but it's certainly being reported. And you can be fined for not having your dog leashed, on a leash. It's for the safety of our residents. Many people are fearful of dogs, but not only that, people need to be able to enjoy their yard and enjoy the community. And that also goes hand in hand with clean up after your dog. I know I took a walk yesterday on the weekend, around the boardwalk, and there are many areas that need to be cleaned, and people need to be reminded. It's shameful that people are unable to clean them after their pet, and they're just getting past the tourism season, and it shouldn't just be in the tourism season, it should be all year long. I know myself, I'm a dog owner, and I wouldn't want anybody to, I clean up after my own pet, and I hope people certainly will. I know there's many that do, but there are those odd people that don't, and it's unfortunate. Also, just to note, just congratulations to, of course, the regatta happened when we weren't in session, I do believe, so just congratulate them. And as well, there's probably other events in the summer, and I apologize if I didn't get them all, but also to congratulate Jake Show and Shine on his, again, successful car show in Dumbville. It's great to see people come out, and they raised over $13,000 for autism, but also that they're using the town facilities, and people are coming to the town, they're spending money. Cars always bring out a group of people, and I know this year, Jake and his dad, I know they had a couple of different spins on things. They had different fundraisers. I seen one picture on Facebook with a big teddy bear in a basket at Costco with some tickets on, and he's certainly trying different things. I think that's great. So I'd like to congratulate them both on the hard work they put into that, and getting sponsorship and keeping the town, keeping people interested in coming to visit us. So that's great.
On that note, Councillor, he got notified by got recognised by the Autism Association as one of the fundraisers.
Yes.
So that was with Glen Hydro, so he's done very well. Yeah.
Good job indeed. Okay. And the other thing I had is, this is our second year, right? We're on the anniversary of our second year. We have committee structures, and I've outlined and advised that there's going to be some committee changes. These committee changes, everybody's involved in all aspects of council, and everybody's being taking their chairs. I remember Councillor Hines, don't put me on public works. I don't even know how to fill in a paddle, or I fill one paddle.
It was a very genuine letter I wrote to the mayor ahead of time saying, that's not my forte. That's exactly what I put in.
The only thing I know about is somebody with a paddle. That's it. So she put on it, and obviously you've done a great job, and she has an experience and done well with the public works. Again, the council is here as mandated elected for the overall operations of council. So looking at this in mind, it's giving good people the chance to move around, and also gives us a new fresh start and a better route to move forward. So tentatively for now, the committee structure, and I've created a new committee. Right? One of the new committees, obviously from discussion here and listening to the committee members, our public safety and our public works department, our public works committee, both of them had a lot of commonalities. A lot of them was being rehashed. So that public safety committee is now public works safety committee. So it'll take care of the two of those roles. The executive will remain myself as chair, the deputy mayor, and the finance chair. Finance, Councillor Kay Smith as chair, Councillor Jane Hines, deputy mayor Keith Pearson, with resource manager of finance. Public Works and Safety Committee, chair Councillor Lorraine Collins-Power, Councillor Noel Collins, deputy mayor Keith Pearson, and the resource person is Public Works Superintendent. Tourism and Beautification, Councillor Noella Collins, chair, Councillor Kay Smith, Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick. Resource Manager of Tourism, Marketing and Communications. Recreation Committee, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, chair, Councillor Lorraine Collins-Power, Councillor Jane Hines. Resource Manager of Recreation and Community Program. Community Engagement and Communications Committee, Councillor Jane Hines, chair, Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick, and Councillor Kay Smith. Resource person, the Manager of Tourism, Marketing and Communications. And the new committee, to foster infrastructure and economic development within municipality, to investigate and examine regional economic development practice, to enhance economic development programs, to ensure sustainability of our municipality, to seek out information on our land use planning, to explore major projects and impact on the local economy and the labour market, to ensure social inclusion, health literacy and other initiatives, to implement strategies from the town's marketing strategy, and to fostering liaison with other community groups in trying to promote economic development. Will be chaired by Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick, Councillor Collins Power, and Councillor Noella Collins. This will be given there, so obviously there is some continuing over of committees. There are some people there, so if you would like to sit in on your previous committee, for now, I think there may be a slight change, but that's worked out. We need to move forward, that will be done. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I missed who the resource person was for.
For CAO. Okay. Obviously, and even on this economic development, Councillor Fitzpatrick, we have this wellness centre, right? And the wellness centre is, we've engaged in, with Architect 49, we have it moving, and we need to get this trying to be moving forward to get it going through the fruition as well. We had some timelines and schedules there. We want to get some stuff moving. Right?
So what we'll say is that the wellness center will be on the economic development piece and not the recreation piece,
No, it's going to be, obviously, it's going to be carryovers, because it will be part of
the programming that can be understanding recreation.
But just to try to get this, to help get it to the RFP process and information going out there, we need somebody there that, can put some time there and move it as well, to push it through. That'll be there. And the other economic development, such as our partners, the Chamber of Commerce, the Agency Management Authority, the Freshwater Community Centre. We haven't been doing very little. Just we've tied up with everything else. I'm sorry, not been doing very little, but this new committee is giving us a better understanding, better appreciation to try to promote economic development in their town. We got to try to come up with ways to get economic development, try to entice business to come here, try to promote and help this community grow. And I think we need this economic development committee now to certainly help promote and foster us for years to come. So I thank you all, and the committee will be given out there. And if you have anybody have any concerns, I'll ask for a motion to accept the committees.
You'll send that out, will you?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Don't make us do committees or something like that.
Okay, ask for a motion to accept it, moved by Deputy Mayor. Second, Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. No other business, and again, I'd like to also reiterate, Larry Dowie, the passing of Larry Dowie was really a personal one as well, and condolences certainly go to the family. Thank you all very much. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Speech, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick.